Welcome to a new era of the beer heel. G'day and welcome back to the brew shed on a wet and cold day. You might be able to hear the rain at the moment. It's about 9 degrees here in Hobart. It's freezing, so what better place to be than in the brew shed. Now today it's my first brew on my Braumeister. Well, I did one last weekend as a bit of a tester just to see how I went, and that went fine. I didn't want to put that on video just in case I mucked up, but everything went well, so today's my first one for the video. So I'll be taking you through with some close-ups, etc. of what goes on with this Braumeister. I'm really excited about this. Last week went really well, so I'm hoping for the same this week. The recipe I'll be brewing is the Mid XPA, which I've done a few times before, so I've converted the recipe for the Braumeister. So I'm pretty bloody excited about things, and we may as well get started. Alrighty, time to mill those grains. Now just recently when I've switched over to the Braumeister and the different way of brewing and calculating all that sort of stuff goes, I was using Beersmith, but I found that Brewfather is a really great setup. And so I switched over that just to test that because it has a profile for the Braumeister 20 litre plus automatically in there, and it sort of simplified a few things. So when you're switching systems, there's a lot to learn. So I thought any way that I could make it a bit simpler for myself, I would do that. So I've been pretty happy with it so far. So this Mid XPA, you've all seen it before if you've been following along. This is my grains this time. So grain and grape, the guys that sent me the machine have sent me down some pre-measured out grains. So that's going to simplify things a little bit today. So we'll mill those up and then we'll get into the hops, and then we can start brewing. How bloody good do they look? Check that out. Gotta love it. Righto, now for the hops, we've got a 60-minute edition of Columbus, just 10 grams. So we'll measure that one out. And a 15-minute edition of Cascade at 15 grams. Alrighty, I think we're pretty much ready to brew. Water looks like it's heated up. We'll grab the malt pipe, put it in, and get going. Righto, so the alarm has gone off. The mash has reached its required temperature. So we then take the malt pipe, we put it into place, like so. Then we grab our mesh screens and the false bottom, give them a bit of a spray, just for good luck. And we thread those down and on. They go in nicely. Got our other bits and pieces here. So that's it, getting towards the bottom, and then we've got to put our grains in. So, you know, this is what I've sort of seen has been a little bit tricky on some of the videos. Sometimes I use the brewing top upside down to help you. Today I'm just going to try and sort of decant from my big bucket using this sort of little mini ice cream bucket. Seen people with, you know, scoops and all that sort of thing doing this, so we'll just have a crack at this one and see how this goes. Looks like it's working pretty well so far. Get my mash paddle, or the one that I'm using for the moment, just to stir it around. Mash paddle is on its way. My old one was just a little bit too big for this. So I've done that, and then we spray once again. The mesh, the top, then we've got our bar over the top like this. Screw that all in and we're ready to go. So that mash is underway, so I've got 60 minutes to kill. I'll do a few other jobs in the shed, but the beauty of the Braumeister is, thanks to this little Braumeister mobile contraption, it Wi-Fi's up to the interwebs, and I can keep an eye on it on my mobile phone. It's belting down with rain right now, so hopefully you can hear me, but the mash is finished, so it's time to remove the malt pipe, drain off, and then refill with some extra liquid. So taking that off, here comes that. Reach down and pull this out. Slightly more difficult to get this thing, get this bit out. Smells delicious in here. Now, Here's something a little bit fancy I've been working on. Above me is a little pulley system that I've rigged up. And so what we're going to do is use that to allow us to pull this thing out. So we've got our 2 bits here, and we're going to do it like this. See how we go. Oh, it's working. Happy days. That's out. We rest it on the sides here like this. That's good. And then we'll be doing the drain, or the sort of the sparge kind of step. So spin, get it on, and there we go. Done. Get this thing out of the way. So that's draining. Looks awesome. So the recipe tells me to top up with about 5 litres of water. So I'm just going to do it very slowly. I reckon I'll go about 3 for now, and then I can top it up once I get the grains out. But I'll do this 1 litre at a time over the top of the grains, just to sort of drain them off a little bit. There we go. Drains down through the grain bed. You can see it draining down through the sides there. 2nd litre now. Should give you a bit of a better angle of how this goes. Pour around. If it doesn't get all fogged up on me. And then what we're going to do is going to come back to the trusty pulley system here. We'll lower it down. And then we're going to take it up a bit more, fingers crossed. And we're going to put it under the bucket underneath it, like so. And then the plan is, oh, that one came off, it's all right. The plan is we then take this down, sit it down here, drain it off properly. Well, that worked. No dramas. Phew, bloody lucky. Geez, the work looks nice. So if you take a look now, you can see that the boil volume is just under 25. Normally they say to top it up to the 25 litre mark to get going with your brew. Now I haven't done it on this occasion just because this is a mid-strength beer and I didn't want to go too far with this. I'm still sort of experimenting with all of the calculations, so if I am sort of a bit off with my, my gravity reading, I'll top it up with water to make it come back to the right amount. But for now, I'm just playing a little bit cautious. So I'll put this boil lid on. There's a lot of steam coming out of the top of the lid here, as you can see. It's fogging up my close-up camera there. That's not going to be real great footage, but anyway, it happens. We've got a 60-minute hop addition, so just getting my hop basket here ready to go with the Columbus hops. So once that's on the boil, we'll pop this in, pop in the hops, and away we go. You can hear the chime going, which is time to add my hops. Cut the top off, put the basket in, throw them in. Top back on, so to get moving. Hear that sound? That tells me it's time for my 15-minute cascade hop additions. So in they go, beautiful. I don't know if you can see here, but there's condensation dripping down off the roof on top of the boil kettle here. So I think I might have to invest in one of those ducted heating kits and duct this steam out the edge of the shed so that we don't have this happen. But anyway, on we go. All right, that's the boil done. Time to cool down. So at the back here you can see I plugged my hoses. The water goes into the top here, and then the outlet, as you can see, goes into the bottom there, and then we'll start the hose running. We'll chill it down to 70 degrees, and then we'll put in our whirlpool hops. All right, we're down below 70 degrees, so it's time to throw the whirlpool hops in. A mix of Citra, Cascade and Galaxy. So in they go. I'll leave them for 5 minutes and then I'll restart the water to cool it down to our 20 or so degrees to pitch our yeast. Oh, there we go. Take out the whirlpool hops. I've turned back on the chilling water and I'll give this thing a bit of a stir just to make sure that all the the wort is chilling down as it should be. And then once we get down to our target of 21, we'll take a hydrometer reading, and we'll also whirlpool properly, see where we're at. I've just taken another refractometer reading and it's telling me 1.047, so well above the 38 that I was looking for this recipe, which is basically because I didn't put all that sparge water in when it asked me for it. So I've seen a bit of chatter on the message boards around the Braumeisters with this and what you should or shouldn't do in this case. So I'm going to add 4 litres of normal water into here to take it back down to the 38, which is what I've calculated. So here's something I prepared earlier. So I'll pour this in. That's about half. So I'll let that settle and I'll take another refractometer reading just to make sure that I'm on the right track, and then we'll pour in the rest. Yep, that's right. Brought it down somewhat, so now I'm pretty happy to tip in the remaining 2 litres to get us down to our target gravity. Rightio, we're nicely cooled down. All that's left to do is drain to the fermenter. Get that going now. And then we'll pitch the yeast, then we'll be done. Now look, I just got to say, I've been really happy with this brew day today. It's been pretty simple, but really nice and hands-on. The great thing is that it's not even 2 o'clock yet, so I've been going for less than 5 hours, and I've been mucking around with all these lights and cameras and all that sort of stuff. So a pretty nice brew day. So a 60-minute boil, and then I also had like about a 70-minute mash, and so you allow for the heating times and all that sort of stuff in between, and the chill down. And I'm pretty happy because I know that this thing really only takes about 5 minutes to clean. I'll reuse some of the water that's gone out through the chilling process, put it back in, give her a quick scrub, turn her upside down, check the pump, and away you go. So all in all, pretty bloody happy with my first real brew with the Braumeister. So look, until we talk again in this great big craft beer land of ours, cheers to great beers.